Daher sage ich allen Zuhörern einen schönen guten Abend. Schön, dass ihr Zeit gefunden habt, an unserer MVP Fusion and Friends Teil Nummer 3 teilzunehmen. Es macht immer wieder Spaß, eine virtuelle Konferenz vorzubereiten, weil es ja wirklich was anderes ist, als eine Konferenz vor Ort zu haben. Von daher sage ich schönen guten Abend im Namen von Dieter und von Hans. Und Raphael wollte selbst sich auch noch mal ganz kurz vorstellen.
Ja, hallo, ich bin quasi der Vierte in der Runde und at first I think we have to switch.
Exactly.
So a very warm welcome to Dona Sarkar. She's here in our call for the keynote. And so, Peter, it's your turn.
So, who doesn't know Donna very well? She's the head of the WindowsInsider program down at Redmond at Microsoft, of course. And so, what's going to happen today? We have a keynote with Donna, which is going to be followed by 18 sessions held by 15 MVPs. We also have some student partners on board as well as other externals, and on top of that, 2 Microsoft employees who are going to help out here with our virtual conference. So that should be it from myself. I hope you enjoy your time, and I would like to introduce you to Donna for now. Donna, your stage.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for the warm welcome.
Hello, Donna.
Hi. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, yes, okay. Absolutely.
Oh, perfect. Good. Today I'd like to talk to you about something that's very important to both me and Jeremiah, who many of you know as well. We're the leads of the Windows Insider program at Microsoft, and ever since I took the role, we've been talking pretty much nonstop with our team as well about this new idea that is revolutionary for the tech industry, but is not revolutionary for the Windows Insider program. We are calling it CoCreate Community. Those of you who are Windows developers kind of get it, right? Those of you who are not Windows developers will understand it pretty quickly. The power of the Windows Insiders program became very clear to me when I was in Toronto in July for the Windows Partner Conference, WPC. There we met Jason. Jason is someone who is visually impaired. He has been blind since he was born, and he works at the School for the Blind, helping other people use technology as a way to live their life in a very normal way. Now, we learned, oh, sorry. 1 second. Oh, you're not talking to me. Okay. If you're talking to me, just let me know and I'll stop. Okay. So we learned 3 things. 1, everyone is an expert of their own life. They understand the pain points of their individual life, the things that just work and the things that really don't work. They know these things well because they live it every single day. Jason knows what it's like to be blind. He knows exactly what he needs from his technology to be able to live a life that's rich and fulfilling and where he's able to help other people. We watched him use Cortana to call an Uber to get home. Some people want to take the next step. They realize that if they invest the time to fix their own problems, those things that they're an expert in, like for Jason, it's being blind and how to use technology as a blind person to live an amazing life. They can also help out other people. And this is why he works at the School for the Blind, helping other people understand all of the technological options that they've got out there to live lives where they're free and independent. The third thing is that people like to work with others. They like to connect with people who are like them. They like to connect with people who are different than them so they can learn from other people. People want to belong to a community, and we believe that the Windows Insider program is that community, and we want to do all of these things, showcase people's expertise, help them help other people, and connect them to each other. So times have changed. Things have changed a lot in the last 10 years. Nowadays, customers and companies co-creating together to build the exact right solution is the only way. because ultimately a customer's success is a company success. If you think about it, a company cannot be successful if their customers are not, because their customer will not buy their product or use their product again, nor will they recommend it to other people. Co-creation is not optional, and it's mandatory at every step of the process. The way we think about product cycle at Microsoft is we start with the customer analysis, the data. We say, what does the data look like of what customers are doing right now, whether it's with our tech and using telemetry or whether it's with market research, and figuring out what people are trying to do. Next step is envisioning and saying, okay, what product can we build to fulfill some of these needs that are obvious? Third part is convincing. So whether this is getting it funded by the senior leaders of the organization or whether it's convincing software developers to write code. It's engineering planning, figuring out which milestone certain features should come in. The beta iteration process, which all of you know well, is the pushing out actual bits to customers and seeing how they resonate. Actually selling the product and saying like, okay, it's ready for mass market now. It's ready for the global audience. And then coming back to customer analysis to understand how is it being used. Co-creation is not optional at any phase. And we on the Windows Insiders program actually work with our insiders to do this at every step. We analyze data from insiders. We work with insiders to actually say, okay, we are thinking about this feature, that feature. We just did this in Edge this week where we're running a few experimental features like the snooze button. It's a prototype. We don't know if it's going to be in the product or not. It really depends on what our insider audience's feedback is, whether it's through the feedback hub or through telemetry data. If the usage is very low, it doesn't make sense to actually use it. But if the usage is high, we're going to use that to do the next step, which is convincing our management to say, okay, we should actually make this a feature, code it properly, go through the code review cycle, and then put it into the product. So do the engineering planning, actually put it out for beta iteration with a bigger audience, like our slow ring or our release preview, and then put it into the product for shipping. Trust is the ultimate currency between companies and their customers. And trust, by definition, is making something important to you vulnerable to the actions of others. For a company, we show trust by saying, we have this idea, it may not be great, but we need you to tell us that. So we're taking something that's precious to us, an idea, and making it vulnerable to the actions of customers. We're not mandating that they're going to use it. We're saying, we need you to tell us whether you will use it. It works the other way as well. The customers trust us with their data. They're saying, we're going to give you this data believing you're going to use it for good. And we are. So as long as both sides maintain that trust, we respect the boundaries, we're reliable. We say, if we say we're going to show up, we show up. We show up every single time. We release builds as often as we say we're going to. Being accountable, saying, if we get this much data saying the usage should be at this level, we are going to implement this into a product. That's accountable. Being a vault, maintaining confidentiality. We don't share your data with others. We're not going to do that. Living with integrity. Our core value is empowering people to go do the things they want to do and empowering every person on the planet. So that's why Windows is a product where anyone can opt into the Insider program. You don't need a special invitation. You can live on the side of a mountain in Nepal or you can live in a penthouse in New York City. You can opt into the Windows Insider program and you are able to try out Windows without a cost because we want to empower every person on the planet. We don't judge. If people say, no, I don't like this tech, that's fine. You don't have to like our tech. We need to know what you need. If you're someone who says, no, I'll never use touch, that's fine. Not everyone has to use touch. And being generous, assuming good intentions. We always assume good intentions from our customers. When customers give us feedback, we assume it's because they want to help make our product better and the lives of other people better. Everything is a relationship. One thing I've learned in the last 115 days or so of running the Insiders program is that my relationship with insiders is the most important thing. I was working on this presentation, this one actually, the one I'm showing you, to the office VPs to tell them our vision, all about the Insiders program. And I was talking to one of our insiders, And he was telling me, I've got a broken heart. And, this girl, she broke my heart. And I said, look, I've been there. But here's what I did. I went and I actually joined fashion school and learned a new skill. And that was how I healed my broken heart. This has nothing to do with being an insider or technology. It's about being human. Because connecting with people is what we really want. That's why we go and join things, because we want to connect with people who share a similar value as us. Ultimately, all we want is to be loved and to belong. And we want our unique value to be seen. The most successful groups, the most successful communities are where people's unique values are showcased and they're celebrated. When we feel like the unique skills we bring to the table are not valued, that's when we feel like, do I belong here? Is this the right thing to do? So let's look at a scenario where the landscape has changed dramatically, leading back to Jason's story. Once upon a time, narrator was a big deal in Windows. Like, oh my gosh, it'll read things to you. It'll read you UI elements. Then it became expected, and all UI had to be accessible through keyboard shortcuts and whatnot. Nowadays, narrator and accessible UI are just basic. They should be there, they should work, and they should be flawless. Instead, we need to think about inclusive design. How can we design things so that they work better for people of all kinds of special abilities? It means that more people benefit when we do things in an inclusive way. Because someone might be disabled permanently, like they only have one arm. It might be just temporary, like an arm injury. Or it could be just situational. They're a new parent and they only have one arm to work with. Or like me, I'm holding on to my cat with one arm, so I'm very grateful for keyboard shortcuts right now. The landscape of measuring success has changed. Back in the day, it used to be measuring sales numbers. How many copies of X thing were sold? Then it was measuring monthly active users. How many people actually use this product monthly? But that's not enough, because using a product, you could just use a product once, right? It doesn't mean that the company is successful. Instead, now it's all about measuring a customer's successes and how much they trust you. If a customer is not successful, you are not successful. Because why would they use your product again? Why would they recommend your product to others? We have 4 goals of the Windows Insider program based on all these premises. 1, we want to hear customer stories. 2, we want to understand their unique currency, their unique value. 3rd, we want to amplify their messages. And 4, we want to connect them with each other. We are going around the world. This is how the team met Raphael in person. We're going around the world and hearing people's stories. We're hearing stories from universities and schools, from IT professionals, from MVPs, from business decision makers, developers, true creatives, like artists, sculptors, musicians, and those with special abilities, etc. Because we believe that every group of people has unique currencies. Some people, it's financial success, like I need my company to be successful. Others, it's career growth. By learning this technology, I'm able to grow my career within my organization. Others, it's fame and fortune. I want to be famous. I believe that being the most technical stockbroker in New York City will achieve me that. Some, it's helping others, like Jason. He doesn't need to do this, but he wants to. He loves helping others. It makes him feel valued. It makes him feel accepted and belong. Some people, it's the experience of belonging to a group of people similar to them. For many artists, it's freedom. It's the fact that they use technology to run their business, which allows them the freedom and the time to go create more. 3rd, it's amplifying these stories and saying, Jason is someone who uses narrator daily. This is his story. Dear Shiproom, I need you to fix this bug so Jason can continue to help the blind call Uber without having to push the button. Amplifying them. Building products with their needs in mind from the beginning. Sharing these stories on our channel so people realize there's others just like them in the world. And helping our community achieve their dreams, whatever those dreams that may be. Then we want to connect these our community. We want to connect them with events like what you're doing now so organically. We want to connect them through sets of forums we're going to have based on group affinity. We want to do joint partnerships, like let's partner together and organize an event. And then, of course, joint projects like our Windsiders for Good series of projects that we're going to be doing this year. Fish. There's the saying, don't give someone a fish, teach them to fish. We're not so presumptuous to think that we know what we're doing. Co-creation is a new idea. It's not something that's been around for very long. We're certainly not trying to teach other companies or other people to fish. We're saying, here's a fishing pole. Fishing is a thing. Tell us what you find and share with us. Co-create with us how you co-create with others. So how are you, all of you who have customers of your own somewhere, going to do this? This is the methodology we use. We need to know who are your customers, what are their currencies, how can you go to where they are? Rather than forcing them to come to you, go to the channels that they already use. What is going to be a natural channel for them? If your customers are mostly artists, they're probably not on Twitter. If your customers are mostly business people, they probably are. If your customers are mostly IT professionals, they might be on forums. What are the channels that you are going to use? And who is going to do the communication? Because one thing about channels is that you have to be reliable. You have to show up every single day. And you have to make that commitment. What kind of data are your customers going to send you? Are they going to send you words? Are they going to send you pictures? Are they going to send you videos, bug reports? How are you going to consume this information that they give you? And how are you going to process it? Because processing data is hard. It's very, very difficult to process imagery into some sort of feedback. And what are you going to do with the information? You have to let them know what you're going to do, because that's the other side of the trust. You have to tell them what you're going to do, and then you have to do exactly that. Our Windows Insiders method, we have 3 sets of things. We have the fans at scale. So this is the entire insider base. And we reach them through social, email, gamification, CRM, the standard methods, broad reach ones. The friends of our friends, these are the insiders who've reached out to us and said, hey, we want to help. We want to help grow communities. We want to help grow a community in Germany. We want to help grow a community of blind technological users in Canada. They've reached out to us. And we've said, okay, we want to help you do whatever you're trying to do. So we will help them do events. We will help them with storytelling. We will tell their stories to our management. We'll support them because they're an extension of our team. Then we have our top fans. These are the people who we know we can call on because we need a trusted friend to bounce an idea off of. These are the numbers I have in my phone who I can say, hey, what do you think of this presentation? This is something I want to give at Ignite in New Zealand. And that insider will review it for me and say, this makes sense, or Donna, this makes no sense. Case study from Toronto. We tried all 3 of these things. So before WPC, we only knew one person. So I wrote this email myself. I said, my name is Donna. I'm the new lead of the Insiders program. I'm going to be in Toronto. I'd like to invite you to this dinner. And we sent this out to 40 insiders that we had in our database who were registered. So out of the 40 we invited, 18 attended. And they were fascinating because there's a 70-year-old anthropologist who writes papers on the topic. There's a psychology student, undergrad, using AR, VR to think about the brain. There was, of course, Jason, the accessibility activist. There's the woman who tech supports elderly. All of her customers are over 80. And she talks about how when they have arthritis, they rely on Cortana so heavily. There's the IT pro who supports local colleges. And then the 13-year-old, 7th grader. He brought his mom. And he was so scared to be there in this room full of adults. But he was so excited to be there because he loves technology, so active. He gives us so much feedback. And all he wanted to do was record everything we said. And then following it, Harshana reached out to me and said, you know what? You're right. We met as strangers, but we left as friends. It's one of the mottos of the Insiders program. You arrive as strangers, you leave as friends. So we stay in touch. And when I have a question about how things are going in Toronto, I know who to reach out to. That's my cat in the background. He's very helpful. So in attempts to connect people to each other, we're doing 4 different events that we know of. These are just the 4 that we've defined so far for between now and December. One is our Windsiders for Good Create-a-thons. These are events where we bring together technical people and creative people along with a local nonprofit to solve a problem. This is something many of you partnered with us on in Berlin and Cologne last month, and it was magical. So what we're doing is we're actually making this into a product that people can get and do on their own. We're working with our philanthropies team where nonprofits can post their problems and ideas of solutions. Then we want to create a database where insiders can register to be Windsiders for Good fellows, and they can say, yeah, I want to help. So they can query the database for other people in their city, choose an issue, and go and create a solution using a lot of other tools that we're going to put up there. This all goes live this month, in October for Giving Campaign. Another one we're doing is that Africa is quite low in insiders compared to the rest of the continents, and we want to understand why. So we're kicking off a fellowship in Nigeria where we're going to meet with IT pros and students to understand their tech needs. And then we're going to kick off this entrepreneur fellowship program. We're going to put out a call for applications of people who have business ideas to make Lagos in Nigeria a better place. And then we're going to choose 20 that we think are feasible, and we're going to mentor them for 6 months to bring their idea to life. So I'm off doing that next week, and Jeremiah's just headed out, which is why he couldn't be here today. So we'll report back on what we do here. It's very exciting. We've never done anything like this before, but we believe that empowering people with tech is how you make the world a better place. We have tried to eradicate these problems, like homelessness, like lack of water, clean water, climate change, corruption. We've tried to eradicate these problems for years without technology, and we haven't been able to do it. So we have to use tech. The Give Month is going to be the series of create-a-thons in Microsoft retail stores in October. We start on October 8th. I will kick that off in New York City. Very excited about this because it will be a global reach from the retail stores to the local communities to solve these problems. We're going to launch our community portal where insiders can showcase the projects they're doing to help make the world a better place. And then we're going to have a bunch of new social channels, such as a Tumblr, YouTube playlist, Instagram, which all will be coming to life between now and November. So, takeaways from this. You're only successful if your customers are. Because why would they buy your product again? Use your product again if they aren't successful? Everything is a relationship. Co-creation isn't an option. And if you haven't already, please join the Windows Insiders program and tell us your stories so we can amplify and connect you with others just like you. We're the greatest community of people on earth who use the tech we love to eradicate the problems we hate. Thank you so much for having me.
So, thank you very, very, very much for your keynote, Donna. We learned a lot of new things, and I think we are on the right way with our community here in Germany. And on the parallel to your session, we had a lot of chats and communication in our community, and so very, 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 very good. And thank you for your keynote. And next step, Dieter, it's your turn.
Thank you.
Donna. Thank you very, very much.
Of course.
So, before Dieter, send our greetings to Jeremiah and Tyler. I hope you will see them today, or?
Hang on, I'm going to quickly turn on video so you can see what I'm using this.
Wait a second. I think it's connecting.
Yeah.
So now we see you, yes.
Hi. Thank you. I guess I should have done this at the beginning. Thank you so much for having me. I love this gift you sent for me.
Yeah.
Reach me safe and sound. Jeremiah brought it. And very with good. Me is, let me show you the one who's interrupting this whole presentation. This piece, Ninja Cat himself. So helpful. So he's been in the way. He's pushing all the buttons on the keyboard. So that is why we can't have nice things. Yeah.
So, thank you very, very much. We have also some T-shirts from you from the Windows Insider too. So here, like this. It's too dark.
I love it. Perfect. Yeah.
So I talked with Jeremiah. We can send some T-shirts with the Microsoft Germany shipment, and we use it and send some T-shirts to our Windows Insider community members, and they are very, very happy. And Robert Ninja Cat himself, awesome. So. Yeah. Yes. Very cool. So I hope we will see us at Ignite or at the MVP Summit.
I'll see you at MVP Summit for sure.
Yeah.
I'll be there doing the keynote kickoff with Bill. So we'll talk about.
That's going to be great.
Yeah, we'll do a lot of. You guys will hear this a lot again. You'll keep hearing it over and over because my manager Bill will be delivering the same thing at Ignite, more related to IT pros, but. You're going to hear the same message over and over because we mean it. This is what we're doing this year.
It was very interesting and very inspiring to see how the program itself changes from what was from the beginning to what is now going to happen. Very, very thank you for that, letting us know.
You're so welcome. I'll see you guys in Redmond or somewhere around the world. And I'll share my presentation with Raphael so he can share it with you.
Yeah, that's perfectly. So
thank you very much. Have an amazing conference.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And now,
bye.
Bye.
And now switching over, gehen wir wieder zurück zu Dieter, der wahrscheinlich schon mit den Hufen schart.
Genau. Ein paar Housekeeping-Sachen. Es tauchte gerade die Frage auf, ob das Video geshared werden kann. Ich vermute mal, die Frage bezog sich, ob die Aufzeichnung von der Keynote verfügbar gemacht wird. Ja, dazu kann ich nämlich jetzt auch gleich mal die Recording wieder anhalten.